Hey, my name is Bhavani Kola. Welcome back to another session of Face-to-Face to Online Transition. In today's session, we will be looking at the top 5 text animations for educators that make our classes much more fun, engaging, and interacting. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first animation I would like to talk about is the handwritten effect. This is one of my favorites, and I personally think it kind of mimics the way things are done in our classroom. And as you have seen, I use this a lot in my YouTube intro videos. So let's go ahead and see how this is done. In order to achieve this animation, you simply click on the text that you want to animate, click on Animations tab, click on Appear, move all the way right to Animation Pane. As soon as you click on Animation Pane, a panel opens up on the right-hand side, and this is where the magic happens. You scroll all the way right until you find this little arrow, click on it, and go all the way down until you find Effect Options. There are multiple things that you can do in this Effect Options, but today I would like to focus on how my text is being animated. And as you can see, it's animating all at once, and that does not give me a handwritten effect. I'm going to click on this arrow, and you have an option to choose by word or by letter. I'm going to go ahead and choose by letter. And then the next option is the timing, how fast or how slow you want your letters to appear. In my case, 0.1 is the perfect timing, but if you're teaching elementary students, you may want to go ahead and increase that number just so that they can follow. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and we will preview this in the slideshow. So this is how it looks on your PowerPoint presentation. I really like the way the text is coming out, but I would like to have a little bit more control. I would like to control when the next bullet point comes up and what happens to the previous bullet point. So let's go ahead and make a couple of changes in the effect options and then see how the result turns out. So here I am back again, where I can change my options in my effect options section. Animation, Animation Pane. Here is my text box. Scroll all the way to the right, click on Effect Options. And here I'm going to go ahead and click on Text Animation. And as you can see, this whole text is considered as one object, but I would like to have more control on my bullet points. So I will scroll down to by first level paragraphs. You will see how the effect turns out. And I would also like the previous bullet point to disappear once the next one pops up, because I want students to focus on what I am talking. So I'm going to go ahead and click After Animation, scroll all the way down, and check Hide on next mouse click. And I'm going to click OK. And now let's go ahead and see how it looks in our preview. And as you can see, I'm going to click. This is my first bullet point, and it stays until I finish explaining the bullet point and click Next. As soon as I click Next, the first one disappears so that my students can focus only on what I am teaching to them right now. So it's another way to present to your class. I always like to have more control on my bullet points just so that I know my students are following along. The next animation I would like to talk about is changing color. Maybe there's something really important that you want your students to focus on, and by changing this color, you might catch their attention. So let's go ahead and take a look how this is done. So let me quickly go back and replay. Your text comes in, and on a click, it changes the color. In order to achieve the change in color animation, you simply click on the text, Animations, and here I would like to use the wipe effect. I'm going to click on wipe, and as you can see, it's wiping from the bottom. I do not want that. I want it to wipe from left to right. So I'm going to click on Effect Options and choose from left to right. And I'm going to click on Animation Pane. And here I'm going to scroll all the way to the right, click on Effect Options. The effect that I want is changing the color after the animation. In order to achieve that, I click on the Effect tab, scroll all the way down to After Animation. I'm going to click on this little arrow, and I'm going to check, yes, red color. But I would also like to have control on my bullet points. So I'm going to click on Text Animation, go to Group Text, click on this little arrow here, and check by first level paragraphs. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and then let's preview how it looks in our slideshow. So I click, the first bullet point comes in, and the next bullet point does not come up until I click. So here I go. And as you can see, as soon as I click, the color of the first bullet point changes, and then I'm going to click again. There you go. One more time, and there you have it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the variation of changing colors. I'm going to go ahead and click on my text, click on animation, scroll all the way down until I find font color. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, my font is changing various colors. I'm going to click on animation pane, scroll all the way down until I find effect options. And here I'm going to change the color from this orangish color to red. And these are different styles that you want to play around with, but I like to just change it to one color. And I'm going to text animation. I would like to have control on my bullet points. I'm going to click by first level paragraphs. I'm going to click OK, and we will see how different is this from the previous one. And as you can see, this is my preview. The text already appears, and when I click, the first bullet point changes its color. Click, the second changes. Click, the third changes. Click, the fourth changes. So this is another variation to how you can change your colors in your presentation. The next effect I would like to talk about is the highlighting effect. This is one of my favorites as well. As you can see, your text comes in and then your highlighter. I would like to show you two different variations of this highlighting effect, and you can choose the one that you like. The first one is the easiest one. I'm simply going to go ahead and click on the text, click on animation. I'm going to scroll all the way down until I find fill color. And there you have it. It's filling up with different colors. I'm going to my animation pane, click on this little black arrow, find effect options, check on that, and I will change my fill color to yellow. And I'm going to click OK, and let's take a look in the slideshow. So here I have it. Here is my text. I do not have an option to animate this text. The text is already present, and when I click, there you go. It highlights automatically. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the variation. In the variation option, you have to go ahead and manually create the highlighting box. In order to do that, you simply click on Insert, Shape, and I'm going to pick a rectangle. And I'm going to make sure the rectangle is slightly larger than the text. I'm going to fill it with yellow color. And I'm going to send it to the back. There you go. Click on Animation and click on the wipe option. Again, wipe from left. I'm going to click on the rectangle, wipe. Again, wipe from left. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this animation in the slideshow. So here I am in the slideshow. The text does not come in until I click, unlike the previous animation. So click, the text comes in, click, the highlighting comes in. So I like this better than the previous one because this gives me control of how my text is animated as well. But again, it's totally your choice. The next animation I would like to talk about is the underline effect. So let's go ahead and take a look how this is done. I'm going to go ahead and show you two different variations of this effect, and you can pick the one that you like. So I'm simply going to go ahead, click on the text that I want to underline, click on animation, scroll all the way down until I find this underline effect. And I'm going to click on that. And let's go ahead and take a look of this animation in the slideshow. As you can see, the text is already present, and I'm going to click. There you go. There's my underline. The drawback of this method is you cannot change the color of your underline. It's by default to black. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the variation. In the variation method, you have to manually go ahead and create your underline. So I'm going to go ahead, click on Insert, Shape, and I'm going to pick a rectangle, and I'm going to create a little rectangle right here. You can actually pick a line as well, but I like picking up the rectangle. And I'm going to go ahead, change the color of this one to red. And I do not want the outline. I'm going to say no outline, and I'm going to move it all the way up here. There you go. And I'm going to click on Animation, click on the text. I want it to animate as a wipe effect. That's my favorite effect. There you go. Click on the rectangle. I want it to wipe as well, but same from left to right. But I want it to wipe on the click. So let's go ahead and take a look at this effect on slideshow. So here is my blank presentation. I click, my text comes in, and then I click, my underline comes in. This way you have more control of when you want to underline and what you want to underline. And even the underlining effect is much more nicer. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one more time. So as you can see, I have total control on how my text comes in and also my underline. I kind of like this better, but it's again totally your choice. The next animation I would like to talk about is how you can highlight or color individual words in your classes. This could be very useful if you're trying to get your students' attentions or if you're teaching an English class, psychology class, and you want them to focus on certain words. So let's go ahead and see how this is done. So here I have my quote, and as you can see, I've changed the font of the words that I want to highlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go ahead, copy these words, simply going to highlight, copy, highlight best, copy, highlight left, copy. Once I copied all these three words, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the color. I'm going to change self-care to blue. Yeah, I'm just going to pick blue, best to red, and left to green. And I went ahead and animated this entire quote as a handwritten animation. I'm going to select my self-care and I'm going to apply wipe effect to it. Wipe from left to right. And I'm going to go ahead, select self-care, use animation painter to copy those animations to best and to left. Once that's done, I will simply move self-care right on top of this self-care right here. There you go. And now I'm going to go ahead and move best, try to do my best, and move the left, and there you go. Once everything is aligned, now let's go ahead and take a look how it looks in our slideshow. There you have it. Self-care on a click, the best highlights, on click, left highlights. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something new today. If you do, please make sure you like, subscribe, and if you think it's worth sharing, please go ahead and do so. There could be an educator who might really benefit from these amazing, simple, easy animations. And always remember, happy teaching, and please take care of yourself.